Friends, so today I am working on a layout for Off the Board where we take something that we have pinned and we actually get it off the board and use it on a layout, which is very cool. This is the layout I'm going to work with today with all of these giant banners. I have a white background here and just some subtle stuff along the bottom, so I'm really kind of feeling that. And the photos I'm going to be using are these two just okay photos of my pup playing in the snow for our first snowfall in November in Michigan. Now the only full-size sheet of paper I have left in this kit I'm using is this one. And I'm not really feeling it because I also want to use up this pile of scraps right here. So what I'm going to do, because I don't love this piece of paper, so I'm just going to flip it over and use the white side so that the banners that I want to highlight will actually show up. So that's what I have so far. I'm going to go ahead and figure this out a little bit more and take you along with me. So here we go, friends. All right, first of all, let me tell you that this layout comes together so incredibly fast, which I love. And part of the reason why is I'm using scraps that are pretty much, I don't know, a lot of the real estate on my scraps are gone. So I'm using up bits and pieces of things, and I have this great kind of banner layout kind of thing across the top. And the kit I'm using is pretty much like if you think of Snow and Cocoa, it's those kind of colors. So what you see me doing right now is I'm kind of cutting my scraps into 3x4-ish. I mean, I'm not even measuring, but we're going to call it ish, to see so that when I'm playing along with them, I can get a good idea of what I have and just start layering up. I also went ahead and trimmed out a couple of these little 3x4 cards that were on a cut apart sheet because I liked the bold colors of them and I liked that they had sentiments and snowy feels and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing I did is I wanted to see if I could find if I had any pieces of paper left that were still 12x12, a scrap for 12x12. And I'm going to go ahead and do a messy scallop on this one so that I will end up with a strong line across the bottom. All right, I've gone ahead and attached that on the bottom. Now I want to see kind of where I'm going to want these little cards or these little banner pieces to flow along the top, and I'm making sure that I'm not going to be too precious about it. I don't need them to be, even Steven or any of that kind of thing, but chances are with the way I roll, I'll end up putting the photos squared off on my page. But I want kind of a loose flow with the banners. All right, I did square off my photos, and like I said, my banner pieces themselves are just kind of on a nice gentle swoop. I went ahead and went through my black color drawer to try to find some kind of a fiber to kind of hang my banners off of, and I found this kind of cool trim. Now, it's not like just a super easy twine, so it's going to make me go on the struggle bus a tiny bit. But I do like that it is super textury, and I like the black in it. You might notice there that I did use black scrap cardstock to map my photos in. So I'm bringing more of that strong black in, and it kind of makes it a little bit more cohesive and makes it make just a little bit more sense. I had a nice amount of that trim left, so I went ahead and put it along the bottom as well. So black is now clearly a very strong element. And I'm going to go ahead and use these alphas. They have a holographic vibe to them, which I really like. I have 2 packs of them. I love them. I love that you don't have to use additional adhesive on them. They are nice and big, but when you have nice and big, you don't have as many or vowels and all that kind of stuff as well. So I've already broken into the second pack while I've been working my way through this kit. These are the Snow and Cocoa puffy little pieces. I absolutely adore them, and I'm trying to make sure to, Snow and Cocoa's a snowy line clearly, but I do like to make sure that I use the very specific pieces out of my embellishments and all that kind of thing that I couldn't use on anything else. Like clearly the snowman should be used on a snowman page. And it also mimics the snowman 3x4 card that you see on the far right. I use that little puffy word that says Burr as well by Mason's name there. And I'm trying to see what else will work. The pieces that are on that wax paper, those are on the wax paper from some kit I put together in the last couple years. I have no idea when, but the colors worked and I just went for it. Now, part of the goodies that I'm trying to use up in the next month or so span are glittery pieces. And I did have these Heidi Swapp very bold glitter shapes, and I like them in their moderation. So cut in half and tucked in, I really like it. I have a harder time with the big giant honking glitter shapes. So this is really working for me when they're kind of downsized a wee bit. So I put 2 up in the banner area and 1 in my title area. So it's giving us a nice little visual triangle there. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what other little pieces I can stick on, because in the piece that I had pinned on, it is pretty much a they scatter the embellishments throughout. So I went ahead and did the same, which is kind of fun to be able to use up some additional bits and pieces. I did like these enamel black hearts. I have no idea where they came from, but they are, I have gold glitter, silver glitter, and then that really nice glossy black. So I'm bringing yet more black into this. And now it is time for me to do just a little bit of mixed media. Now don't be worried, I will go ahead and trim those pieces off that are sticking out from over the trim. I don't want to mess with them too much at this point because the glue is still wet and I want it to set before I kind of tug on it a little bit. I'm using just a little bit of absolutely vintage black mist on this layout. Oh, and I'm sorry, I do have a dog friend who is snoring away while I'm trying to do this voiceover. But I did just use a little bit of black mist. Use any black mist. It does not matter for this situation. There's nothing special about it. So now this is what's funny. This entire layout came together, I believe it was in 22 minutes. And I've sped it up a little bit, but I mean, if you have enough colors of little scraps, these layouts can come together so quickly and they can still be a lot of fun. So, I was just like, can I make just one more out of this kit that I have? And I think it came together pretty well, and I think it's full enough for a layout. I have a lot of different textures, and I have the different textures. Like I did bring in the trim from my color drawer, but for the most part, the rest of this is just from this kit. So I was really happy to play along with this sketch that I found from Pinterest. It's pretty darn cool how well that came together. I went ahead and grabbed some of these tiny words from Tim Holtz. These were not my kit either, because I wanted some more wordy bits, and I wanted them to be in black. And I know that Tim Holtz has a lot of the books in black and white. I think in one of the Christmas lines I have some craft ones, but you can always count on having a sentiment that will work in black and white from that manufacturer, designer, etc. All right, so that's going to be about it. I'm showing you what I did today. I did really like this, even though it's a white background, and I don't do that often. So thanks so much for including me in this Off the Board series. I think it is a brilliant series, and I thank you so much for watching.